Dallas, Texas. We're here at the ASIS Hub. Our next guest is up. Ms. Carrie Davis, Protection Engineering. The website is protection-consultants.com.
That's right.
All right, make sure we got that correct.
That's correct.
Now, what do you guys do?
We are a small engineering firm here in Austin, Texas, and we solve challenging problems in the built environment to extreme loads. So we do research, design, assessments, as well as criteria development and testing for extreme loading events.
Okay, that hurt my head. All right.
I know.
Now, you're speaking like an engineer, which is fantastic. Let's boil it down to what the average folk would understand from that.
Our main goal is we're trying to protect people in the built environment from
Bring
hazards.
the mic a little closer for me.
Closer.
Okay.
From hazards. So we want to make sure that people inside buildings using critical infrastructure are safe or assets in those locations. So we do advanced modeling and simulations to support security personnel or folks or commercial clients or the government to make sure that when they do an assessment, we can help determine how safe things are, what loads are needed. So we look at things like blast, ballistic, vehicle ramming, vehicle impact, to things also armed aggressor attacks. So we really have our hands in the modeling side of that and the analysis to support different teams.
I've seen this more and more where we have engineering firms, traditional bona fide engineering firms are stepping into the security space, and I kind of like the model. Tell me why it's different.
So yeah, we have, our background is a little different. It's mainly structural engineers and a couple mechanical engineers sprinkled in, so we're used to solving challenging problems, but what we're doing is bringing our tools into a different marketplace. So a lot of the security folks have a really good handle on operational procedures and mitigation, and we're really looking at how we can work with their operational mitigation and provide better tools to help them do a job that they're already doing, maybe faster or quicker, or safer, so that they can provide a better product. But then we're also really our focus is a lot of times on the physical hardening, and so it's kind of bringing those two together. Yeah. And so it's nice. It's a complementary to a lot of the folks that work in this industry.
So traditionally, when I do consultancy, I go out and I tell people how to train for active shooter. I say, you know what, you got a breach here and so on. That's my opinion based on my experience.
Yeah.
Engineers are a little different.
Yeah.
Right? We have people that can do the math and they can work the slide rule, and if they're going to fortify your building, it's going to be fortified.
Right.
Structurally.
Yeah.
How do you merge the structural improvements with the operation? In other words, if I make it too much of a barricade and a hard target, then I can't operate. And do the engineering people understand workflow in an environment that becomes hardened?
Yes, yeah. So that's a really big, important part of it is we can harden a facility, so you have a big concrete block and nobody wants to go into it.
That's
but
right.
The building has a function, it has a use, and people need to be able to do that, right? So, and that's where the operational part comes in, is working with the end client or the end user to understand what that building needs to do, or that facility. So there are bridges, there's critical infrastructure that's also important.
Right.
Sidewalks, things that the public will be using actively, but making it safer for them. And so I guess that's the part that we try to push the bounds on through high fidelity modeling and analysis, is we can get better solutions validated. I must say, you can make a lot of pretty pictures.
That's a good way to say it.
Validated,
yeah, right.
So that those solutions can come and be tested and actually go out into the marketplace. But you're right, the operational part and coordinating that is really important, because if it's not functional for the end user, then it's not going to happen. And if it's too expensive, it's not going to happen. So there are a lot of components to that, other than just the engineering, which is what we have a good understanding of. But
do you come in at the design and build phase from ground up? Do you come in after the fact? Where's the typical entry point for your services?
We want to be at the beginning. Yeah, I think it's with any consultant.
Best way to do it, right?
The best way is to be at the beginning, at the table with the client, with the full team, so that all those different parts and pieces can be worked out. So schematic design or concept development of any type of project is the best, because then you can have the guys in for operational security, for physical security, for hardening, to really make sure that you have the best solution in the end, and coordinating that. Otherwise, it's a little too late to bring you in at the end and say, well, this needs some extra vehicle impact resistance.
But that's what they used to do, right?
Yes.
So back in the day, I was on a couple builds for the Fox Network Center, which was the signal for Fox worldwide, right?
Right.
And security was the last thing they put on there. We got to put conduit in if we could get away with it, right? For the most part, it was, here's where your cameras go, thanks. And then after everything was approved, there was the value engineering.
Right.
And we have to value engineer that out and save some costs, right? And if we change the cameras from camera A to camera B, we save $50. And I go, yeah, but you just cut your quality by 100%, right?
Right.
So, are you finding now in the initial phase of construction and planning and stuff, is security being taken more seriously at that level, or is it still kind of an add-on?
So I think it is. Unfortunately, for the more events that we see that happen, so armed aggressors coming into lobby
Right.
spaces or vehicle attacks on public streets, it is becoming more prevalent and taken more seriously. And so, and the part that we've seen more that's actually important is the coordination between the two. So if we don't need to harden a wall, we can save money, so that value engineering part, by providing the cameras or coordinating the two using SEPTED principles on your site assessment so that trees are located in a good spot, or you have proper fencing or bollards, or there are other solutions than providing a fortified building or a facade that you can do and coordinate beforehand. And so that's the part, bringing the technology together of different tools and products that are being shown here at the ASIS Expo, as well as the technology on the end of the modeling and simulations that we do are really advancing, I guess, our capabilities and I think the industries to be able to solve those problems better.
Now, are you guys kind of a turnkey operation that we can come to you for almost any aspect or vertical market and security and say, well, you know what, we're going to sit down, do the math, and solve that for you? Or do you specialize in one or two things?
Wait, so I think the answer is always supposed to be yes. But I'd say no. We definitely specialize more in the advanced modeling and simulation support.
Okay.
We can facilitate testing and run test programs, and then we can do the design. So one of the things that really made me excited to work at Protection Engineering Consultants when I started this about 10 years ago was I get to do design, so I work on projects making sure that that's implemented. I get to do research of new technologies and new products, which keeps it so that I kind of have a good understanding of what's available. And then we also help write criteria and develop criteria for governments and different groups. So you kind of have that big loop of it's feeding itself, right?
Yeah.
So if I have to write the criteria and then use it in a design, I'm going to see how that really works, be a little bit more aware of what you're writing, and then you do the research where there are holes. And so seeing that whole loop, so we do have a good picture of our market, which is that assessment and modeling part of it. But yeah, there are definitely things beyond our capabilities, and that's why we come to these things to learn about teaming, learn about products, and other solutions that we don't have to reinvent the wheel if it's already there.
You guys have a booth here today?
We don't. I'm just walking around.
All right, excellent. Carrie Davis, protection-consultants.com of Protection Engineering.
Consultants, yeah. It's a
Protection
mouthful.
Engineering Consultants.
That's right.
All right, got it in. Excellent. Back in a minute here on SecurityGuideTV.com at the ASIS Hub. Carrie's going to hang out here for a few minutes maybe.
Yeah.
You can't miss her, the green shirt, so pick her brains and come talk to her out here at SecurityGuideTV.com. We'll talk to you later. Take us out, Mr. Sean. Thanks.
Thanks, Jack.
Excellent. Very
Yeah.
good. Thanks so much.
Should I hold them out?
So much.
Should I hold them out?
So much.
Should I hold them out?
So much.
Should I hold them out?